15 hours after returning from Rotherham, we're back, we're cold, it's Walsall Weekly. Right, as you might notice, there's only four of us. The one that's missing is Liam. Liam's not going to be with us for the foreseeable due to personal issues, so we're just going to have a quick moment of silence for Liam, if you could just respect that. Right, that's it, lads. First of all, we've had two games since we last recorded, Bristol Rovers, Rotherham. 2 defeats. Scored 1, conceded 7. Let's start with Bristol Rovers. Dylan, what were your thoughts on Bristol Rovers? Went down to 10 men and we still lost to them, so what were your thoughts?
I mean, I'll say I would have explained it in my fan cam, but we've had a few issues with that. But no, it's one of those games where we should have taken advantage of the 10 men. No stand-out players again for Bristol. Against 10 men, should have got the 3 points, but instead we walked away with nothing. Disappointing performance and a disappointing result.
And enough said about that one. Rotherham yesterday, your original fan cam didn't work, which is probably for the best because you were a bit raging and steaming. But yeah, 4-0 down after half an hour, lost 5-1. Was there anything positive from yesterday?
Oh God, no. I think the only positive thing that came from yesterday was the chants. You know, there was some fantastic chants yesterday, but you know, last night I want to forget about straight away. It was absolutely shocking. No one stood out for me. An awful performance, awful result, and I don't even want to speak about it anymore. It was absolutely shocking.
Okay, cheers, mate. Kev, you weren't at Bristol Rovers, but you've obviously seen some highlights, lowlights, whatever you want to call them, and heard different people's views. So, have you got anything you want to say about Bristol Rovers first?
I think I was just disappointed the fact that they went down to 10 men and we didn't manage to kill the game off. From what I've heard, we didn't actually have enough efforts at goal for their reserve keeper that's never played football before. So that was disappointing. And then when I saw that we conceded right at the death, that was hard to stomach, to be honest.
Alright, and you were there yesterday, slightly drunk. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, 4-0 down after half an hour. Oztoom are off for Morris at half time. Imagine your shock. Yeah, losing 5-1. What were your thoughts on yesterday?
It was a complete and utter pile of shit, wasn't it? You've got to look at it. 4-0. I've seen the goals back tonight. The marking was non-existent. Chambers lost the ball for their first goal, which was a cracker, to be honest. But the defence, considering we've said that they've been bastards so far this season, we lost our bastardry last night. There was literally nothing. Their second goal, it was shit marking. Gillespie, I think he went to have a cup of tea or something because he was nowhere to be seen. Their third goal and fourth goal, yet again, it was just poor marking. And to be honest, we kind of expect it under John Whitney. We expect a thumping every so often. But like I said last week, I thought that part of his game had gone completely because we looked like we actually had something about us and a bit of steel. But once the first and second goal went in last night, we just capitulated again. Pretty much like Bradford away, Rochdale away. It's happening too many times, and the board have got to assess everything, not just the home games. They've got to look at the away games, the performances, the fans. There's far more. The fans are far more vocal now than they have been, and they've got to nip it in the bud, and the only way they can nip it in the bud is by removing John as manager or John resigning as manager.
Okay, fair enough. Bit of a strange question considering we lost 5-1, but if you had to pick a Walsall man of the match against Rotherham, who would you pick? And you've got to pick somebody, so give us a reason why as well.
I'm going to do a John Whitney, and I'm going to give man of the match to the 12th man, the fans. Because the fans last night, they were cracking. Some of the chants last night, bringing back some of the old corkers for David Groff, Troy Hewitt, Will Randall. It was just... and even the Rotherham fans, they come on Twitter last night and said how great the Walsall fans were.
Well, I've got to agree with them, to be honest. And finally, James, you weren't there Saturday, so let's quickly talk about the Bristol Rovers game. What were your thoughts on what you saw and heard from that one?
It's just no excuse. You can't come out of a game 10 men without anything. You have to at least get a point out of that game. But there's just nothing up top. That's what we were saying first 2-3 games, and it's only been Bradford that we've probably actually attacked teams really well in that second half. But apart from that, we've been poor up top.
Okay, and yesterday again, you were there in spirit, drunk. Don't know how much you remember of the actual game, but you're a goalkeeper. Kev's got a hard nipple as well. You're a goalkeeper, so talk to me first of all about Gillespie last night and what you thought of his game and his positioning.
It was abysmal. There was probably the second goal. He hasn't moved across. In positioning's wank. The third one, I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. He's somehow saved it. It's gone under him, and then he's tried to flap it, and he's just hit exactly where Devlin is. And then the last one, again, he can easily save that. He's got a cross, unlike the second one. He's got, I think, 2 hands to it, and he's just pushed it into his own net.
Alright, so less said about the goalkeeping the better. And what about the rest of the game? What were your thoughts on being 4-0 down after 31 minutes?
I said in my fan cam, I was raging. It's disgraceful. There's no excuses for that. No excuses whatsoever. We're set up wrong. No one looks arsed. I mean, like Kev said, we've called them bastards, but there was nothing. I can't remember a time where someone tackled someone and got a yellow like we were just to not concede a goal, and it was disgraceful, and I just don't get what goes through Whitney's head to think that system can still work away. We've gone all year with that system away from home, and we're still looking for a win. Why is he still going with that system?
I don't know, mate.
Every other fan can see it. It doesn't work away. Why can't he think this isn't working? Let's change it.
You're looking very angry there. Well, after last night, I'll put my neck on the line. I was starting to support Mr. Whitney, but after last night, I think I tweeted and said that I can't defend that, and it was like 10 steps back. So I politely told him to go away, which he clearly hasn't done. But I'd be very disappointed if there wasn't some sort of meeting after that. But it obviously looks at the minute like he's staying for Saturday. So we've got a game against Peterborough, kind of free scoring and knocking most teams out the park for 6. So looking ahead to that, Dylan, you're looking really happy about it, as you were last night. Yeah. Have we got any hope on Saturday?
It's at home. Anything for us can happen at home. Peterborough have had a good start. They were top of the league before Shrewsbury overtook them. A good signing in Jack Marriott from Luton. I think he's the league's top goal scorer. So our defence are really going to have to step up this weekend. Jack Marriott, top goal scorer. But you can paint the picture straight away. It's going to be one of those situations where we're going to win. It's going to paint over the cracks a bit. I mean, someone said it in the fan cam yesterday. It's going to paint over those cracks, and we're going to be back in square one. Like I said, anything can happen at home. Our home form is, to be honest, the only reason John Whitney's still in his job. But I'm going to say we're going to win, and it's going to paint over the cracks. John Whitney's going to keep in the job. We're back to square one, and then we go to Oxford and lose at Oxford, and it's just a cycle with us at the minute. So.
What's the score going to be then if we're going to win?
I reckon 2-1. Jack Marriott with a Peterborough goal, and I reckon Wilson and Roberts.
Which one? We've got 3.
Good old Tyler.
I won't call him old. James. Peterborough, Saturday. Do you hold out any hope?
It's like Dylan said, it's at home. Anything can happen. You know, we could go out there, put a good performance in, win, or we could collapse. You know, I think if we don't get that first goal, we're going to absolutely capitulate like we did against Rotherham again. It's just, I want to talk about Leahy, because as much as we've given him praise, he's got 2 goals, 3 assists. Defensively, he's awful.
Calm yourself down on that, man, because we'll come to him a bit later on. So I'll cut you off on that bit. But what are your score predictions for Saturday?
I want to try and be positive. 2-1. We'll win.
Okay. Kevin, you were distraught last night, singing to the Rotherham fans about John Whitney all the way back to the pub. Saturday we're playing Peterborough, obviously doing really well. We're going to win?
No. As James said, the first goal is going to be crucial on Saturday. If Peterborough get the first goal, the fans are going to be restless after last night's performance. They're going to get on the back of the players, which to be honest, I don't agree with during a game. Vent your frustrations and your anger after the match, but don't do it during the game. But to be honest, I can't see us beating Peterborough, even though we're at home. I know there's a possibility we'll win, paper over the cracks, but I don't know, the way Peterborough are playing at the minute, and especially like Jack Marriott, top goal scorer, and the way the defence performed last night, I can only see a Peterborough win. So I'd say Peterborough to win 2-1.
Alright, so we've got 2 optimists, 1 pessimist. I'm going to make it 2 each. I think if Peterborough score early, I think we're fucked. I think it could be another 5 or 6. And I think it'll get toxic. I don't know, I just can't see in the space of 4 days how any of them are going to be perked up, because I'm assuming Whitney's gone in and given War and Peace about how his mortgage is on the line and he's going to be digging graves if he gets sacked and all the rest of it, so I don't think that's going to have G'd him up. But yeah, I think at best we're going to scrape a draw, but I think it'll be at least a 3-goal difference to Peterborough, unfortunately, so rest in peace. Right, usually we'd go on to doing something about in the news this week, but there hasn't really been a lot of news other than somehow John Whitney's kept his job after Tuesday night's demolition job, and we lost to Bristol Rovers, so we're going to skim over that and we'll move on to the Sadler showdown. Obviously Liam isn't here anymore, so we're going to have to do it a different way. So we're going to have every man for himself, so 1-on-1-on-1, hey boys. And then from last week, Kev got the victory on the basis that he answered most of the questions correctly out of the 3 that are remaining. So Kev's 1-0 up. We're into week 2 out of 10. And I got another couple of challenges for you boys. So if you've got your pens ready, I'm going to distribute some information out to you here. Right, so the Sadler showdown this week's in 2 parts, lads. I've given you a sheet of paper with a lot of club badges on, which we'll talk about in a bit, but to start with, I've got a few questions. So there's how many questions we've got? 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 questions. There's 3 answers to each question, and I'm going to give you a point for each correct answer each. So we'll total them up first, and then we'll move on to the badges. So first question is, which 3 Premier League clubs have averaged over 2 points a game in 2017? So there's 3 Premier League clubs that have got over 2 points a game in 2017. Write the 3 down that you think it might be. And while they're thinking of their answers, it might be worth saying that I know we asked for some forfeits, but I can't think who it was off the top of my head, but somebody came up with the idea of being a mascot at one of the Walsall games. So at the end of the 10 weeks, we're gonna get a loser one way or the other, and that loser is going to have to wear full kit, be a mascot for the game, and we'll give you more information on that when we've got it. But how funny would it be to see one of these lads walking out holding Oztuma's hand, shaking the hands of the players, eh? Right, so has everybody answered that? Well, I'm moving on. So, second question, again, there's 3 answers. Second question is, which 3 Senegalese players won Premier League Player of the Month awards? Okay, moving on. Third question, again, there's 3 answers to this. Third question is, which 3 players from Colombia, Jamaica and Liberia have won Premier League medals? And I'll tell you what, if you write the 3 countries down, so you've got Colombia, Jamaica, Liberia. Jamaica, Liberia. If you can give me the name of the player and the club, you can have a point for each on that one. Right, that's that one. So swap your papers round so you've all got different papers. We're going to mark these ones. So first question was, which 3 Premier League clubs have averaged over 2 points a game? So Dylan, whose paper you got? What did James put? Okay, Kev, what did Kev put?
Man City, Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah, so he's got 3 points, all 3 are right. So Kev, what did James put?
He put, is it yours? Yeah. Chelsea, Huddersfield and Burnley.
I am lost. I am lost. Not up to the 12th of September. Well, actually, that's probably a lie. It's not on my list. You haven't made that list, so therefore you got 2, I think. And what did Kev put, James?
Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City.
So he's got 2 as well. Missed out Spurs. So it looks like Dylan's in the lead after the first question. Kev, Dylan, someone.
My paper.
Oh, okay. Excuse the mix-up. Come on, James, wake up, mate. Help me out. Right, so Kev got 3, yeah? So Kev 3, Dylan got 2, James got 2, yeah? I hope someone's keeping a tab of these, because I'm not. Second question was, which 3 Senegalese players won the Premier League Player of the Month award? So you've got Kev's. What's he put? No, none. Kev, you've got James's. What's he put?
Papi, Cisse and Demba Ba.
Demba Ba is 1. And then James, you've got Dylan. So what's Dylan put on his sheet?
Asamoah Gyan. What's the last one? Diakate.
Nil point. So 0 there. So the answers are Demba Ba, Diafra Sakho and Sadio Mane. So after that, what are we on? Kev's got
3, Dylan 2, James 2.
3-2-2. It's close. Third question. Which 3 players from Colombia, Jamaica and Liberia won Premier League medals? So in the order Colombia, Jamaica and Liberia. Dylan, what did Kev put for the players?
Radamel Falcao, Wes Morgan, and then no one for Liberia.
He's got Wes Morgan. Did he put the right team down?
Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, so you can have 2 for that. Kev, you've got James's. So again, Colombia, Jamaica, Liberia. What's he put?
He's only put one answer for Jamaica, Benny McCarthy, Blackburn.
Benny McCarthy's from South Africa for a start. Get out. That's nil. James, you've got Kev. So Kev, what we doing? Colombia, Jamaica, Liberia. What's he put?
Just Morgan for Jamaica.
Did he get Leicester?
Nah.
Wounded at 1 point. So what are we on so far? So you've got Kev's. Kev's on
5.
Kev's got James's. So James is on.
Dylan's on 3.
Dylan, James, whatever the names are. Dylan's on 3, Kev's on 5, and you've got someone's. So what have they got? Oh my God, what's going on here, lads? Right, so hang on, we'll start again. Hang on.
Yeah, you can edit this bit out.
No, we'll carry on, Kev. We'll carry on. Professionals. So you've got Kev's. Kev's got 5. Kev's got James's. James has got 2, and James has got Dylan's, and Dylan's got
3.
So it's 5-3-2 to Kev. Right, so if you turn over your sheets now, I'm going to try and show this to the camera. I don't know whether you'll see it, so bear with me. So it might be the easiest challenge in your life, Dylan, but you've got 30 crests there, club badges. Why am I going to tell you the answer? You've got 30. You've got 30 badges there. I've numbered them 1 to 30 for you. You've got 3 minutes from when I say go to write down them all. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes starting when I say go. So stop writing. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, so just to recap on the 30 badge logos, in order of 1 to 30, we've got Man City, Yeovil Town, Portsmouth, Nottingham Forest, Southend, Wolves, Chelsea, Oxford, Sunderland, Doncaster, Northampton, Man United, Coventry City, West Ham, Cheltenham, Leeds, Wigan, Liverpool, AFC Wimbledon, Walsall, Norwich, Exeter, Crawley, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, Newcastle United, Derby County, Sheffield United, Rotherham and Leicester. So, just for the avoidance of any doubt, in case the camera did cut off a little early, Kev's won this round, so 2-0 to Kev after 2 weeks. Looks like James or Dylan are going to be holding hands with one of the players. I'm hoping it's Oztuma, especially for James, because he's about 4 foot taller than him. But, Dylan, would it be a special moment walking out with your childhood heroes?
Oh yeah, but I mean, if the players don't buck their ideas up, I ain't going to choose any of them. But yeah, I've got to pick my game more.
You'll sorry to inform you, mate, but you're going to have no choice if you lose. I think actually, as part of the forfeit, we get to choose which player you walk out with as well. So just add that one in there for you right now, James. If you lose, I think we're all going to pick Oztuma because it'd be hilarious. But are you going to look forward to walking out with Hun?
He's going to look like my little kid. Please don't let me lose.
It's not up to me. I don't control you. If you lose, you lose. And might have another little surprise as part of your forfeit, which I think we've already discussed, but we'll keep secret until I've managed to have a chat about it with the people that be in power. So, Kev, 2-0 up, how you feeling?
Unlucky, lads. You've got no chance, but bring it on.
Right, so we're back next week with another Sadler showdown. I'll make it a little bit different, so these pair of youngsters, these youth, have a chance against the old-timer Kev. So we will see you next week for part 3 of the Sadler showdown. Right, so moving on to fans' questions. So, it's not really a question, but to start with, Sadler Stats posted last night, still learning, question mark. Saturday will be Whitney's 75th game as Walsall manager, shockingly. So, based on the fact that he's had 75 games, and we lost 5-1 the other night, are you surprised that he's still here?
Yeah, guaranteed. Especially when you look at, like, Jimmy Mullen, he got sacked after, 36 games, because of the performances and the dwindling crowds. Then you look at someone like Paul Merson. Whitney's definitely in the same group of terrible managers that we've had, which is down to the board as well, because they just can't seem to pick a manager at the minute. But going back to what Sadler Stat said, 75 games in, is he learning? No, nor after last night's performance. We're still making the same mistakes. Too defensively, making too many mistakes. But I suppose you've got to look at the players as well. But this is Whitney's team. Whitney's put this team together, and no, he's not learning from me.
Alright, and briefly from you, Bear, 75 games in, should he still be here?
No.
Thank you. Dylan?
No.
Superb. Right, so, we go again. First question is from Rob Lowe on the Sadler side, and the question was, pretty much, how long do you think Whitney has left as manager? Tough question to answer because he should have been gone several times and he's not been, so personally I think they're not going to get rid of him for a good while yet, but if you could make the choice, how long would he have left? So I know you'd want him sacked already, but from today onwards, and you had a meeting with John Whitney last night, how long have you given him?
Tomorrow morning. Nah, if he keeps on making the same mistakes, the away form doesn't improve, he's got to go. He'll probably be given till Christmas, and if it's still the same now with probably a couple of really bad results like last night, he'll be gone.
Okay, Dylan, you're the Walsall board. Never going to happen, but just imagine. You just lost 5-1 at Rotherham. You got John Whitney in a room. What are you going to say to him? Superb. Kev, you've just lost 5-1 to Rotherham. You're the board. I know you'd love to be the board. But if you had a meeting with John Whitney's coming, you've lost 5-1, he's saying sorry, and he's hurt, his passion's gone. How long are you going to give him? What are you going to say to him? You're going to issue him with an ultimatum?
I think, unless we're in the relegation zone, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think the board are happy with mid-table mediocrity, as long as people are still coming into the stadium. So unless we go in the relegation zone, Whitney's still going to be here, unfortunately.
But if you were the board, what would you have said to him last night, and how long would you give him to turn things around?
I would have gave him his P45 last night, and he would have been out the door this morning. And like I said a few weeks ago, Adi Vivash is out of work. He'd be my number one choice, and I'd get him in.
Alright, fantastic. We'll give Dylan a reprieve. We'll see if we can get something out of him. You've got John Whitney in a room. Yes? You've just lost 5-1. How many games are you going to give him to sort things out?
At the end of the day, it's going to be until the end of the season. I think if we do get rid of him, it will be in the summer. I think if it would have been any Premier League manager, he would have been gone on the spot. It's a disgusting result, something that shouldn't be happening. I think, like Kev said, as long as we're not in the relegation zone, he's going to be here. I think we could be sat the players outside the relegation zone all season and he'd still be here. The board are happy with not getting promotion, they're happy with mid-table. So as long as we don't get relegated or we're not in that relegation zone, he's not going anywhere. But to be honest, there's nothing that can make him stay next season. I think the only thing that would make him stay next season is if we magically got into the playoffs and got promotion, or we magically got promoted. But that's never going to happen. So I think he'll be here till the summer. If it was my choice, I would have sacked him last night. It was a disgusting result.
Okay. Finally got an answer. Finally answered the question I asked originally at the end. Well done. Quick answer to this one. Stephen, who is at Povey1997 on Twitter, has asked, do you think if Whitney does get sacked, we would actually get an actual manager, or just go for the cheap option again and promote one of the staff? Just in a couple of words, what do you think?
I'd like to think they would go for Adi Vivash. I mean, there's no one in the coaching staff that would be good enough to take the manager's job anyway. So
superb. Dylan, fewer words than James. If Whitney gets sacked, do we appoint a proper manager, or are we going for a cheap option again?
Cutler in.
Kev?
There's no one in the club at the minute, so we'd have to go elsewhere and, like say, Adi Vivash. But we'd probably end up giving it someone like Dean Holden.
John Ward?
No, he said he'd won it, and he's too old. He's been out of the game far too long. Not for me.
We sarcastically chanted B1 Hutchins back at Rotherham. Would you have him back?
Oh God, no. But to be fair, Whitney's very close becoming someone like Hutchins that I couldn't stand.
And if you had to pick between the two to manage your team, Whitney or Hutchins?
I'd have to pick Whitney.
Good night. Right, okay. Third question is from Adam Guest. Hello, Adam. This is about Lee, whoever I cut off earlier. I think it was you. Do you think the amount of our goals that Lee contributes to justifies the amount that he costs us down the other end? My answer is no, because he's primarily a defender, although he's not very good at defending. I think he's more of a winger, and I think that's where he started out. But what do you reckon, James? Does Lee's contribution up front negate what he does at the back?
No, it's like you said, his main job's defending, and that's what he's not doing. I mean, if he's good at going forward, and you would like to think he'd put him on the wing, but we don't play a system with wingers, so you're just thinking, where can he play? He's cost us probably about 4 or 5 goals this season already. That's not good enough, no matter how many assists you're going to get.
Okay, fair enough. Dylan, what are your thoughts? Are you happy with what Lee gives us going forward in return for being a bit shaky at the back?
No, I mean, if you compare him to Devlin on the opposite side of the field, there's no comparison. I saw a stat the other day, which I think a lot of people saw. He had the third or fourth most assists in the English divisions, which is a really impressive stat. But he's a left back. He's not a winger. Those stats are what you'd expect from a winger. I think he's trying to emulate a winger when he needs to be a defender. And I think if we didn't have such a good backline as we do at the minute, we would have conceded a hell of a lot more goals. So I think he kind of just needs to understand he's a left back, and he needs to stay back a bit more than he already does.
All right, fantastic. And Kev, finally, thoughts on Lee?
To be honest, I'd probably say that it doesn't give anything to the defence, but he's, considering we're in a team that don't actually score many goals or don't create much, then to have Lee in the team is only beneficial to us going forward. But defensively, he's poor. Last night, Rotherham, every time they attacked, they came down that side, and he's just going to be the weak link, and every team is just going to come down that side, and we're just going to get punished. But what can we do? January is such a long way away. Do we give Cockerell Molly the chance, who I think actually will make it as a footballer? But nah, Lee's got to sort himself out, and Whitney has got to decide where he wants to play him. Because as you said, he started off on the wing. I think he actually played up front as well. So he's just an attacking option. He needs to work out on his defending, and that's where Ian Sharp comes in as well. What does he actually bring to this club? Since he's been here, we must have shipped more goals than I can ever remember, and I just don't understand what he actually does.
Oh, strong words. Well, I'm starving. My mum's cooking me tea, so we need to hurry this up. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Just answer these in as short a time as possible. Hello?
I'm not sure it's recording.
Why?
Black screen.
It's turned the other way, isn't it?
Is it? It's been a long day.
God help us all. Right, I want to go for my dinner. My mum's going to kick my ass for I don't turn up in the next 10 minutes. So, Zane Alpine asked the question, which is our defence really as good as people think? That's one clean sheet in our last 18 games now, stretching back to last season. And then, kind of tying in with that, Andrew, who is at Hadley with a 1 for the L on Twitter, is how long will it take for our next away win? So, clean sheet record, 1 in 18. I'll ask you, James, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not good enough. We've gone on about how sort of good our defence is, being bastards, but we're just making so many silly mistakes, and every single time we make a mistake, we're getting punished for it, and that's been the difference this season. When a team made a mistake, we haven't took it, but when we've made the mistake, every time they've took it. Bradford was another example. Rotherham last night, every time. That's what is going to get us in trouble in so many games this season.
Okay, and then I'll ask Dylan and Kev quickly. Seriously, it says how long will it take for our next away win? So I'll rephrase it a little bit. Do you honestly think if Whitney stays for the whole season that we're going to win an away game this season?
No. To be honest, I looked at our away fixtures coming up. I think we're now on day 262 without an away win.
Not counting at all.
It's on the calendar. But between now and exactly 1 year since we last won away, I think we've got Oxford, Wigan, Rochdale, AFC Wimbledon, Blackpool, and there's one more team, I think, Blackburn. When you look at those away games and you see the way that we performed last night, you can't see us winning any one of those games, and I think we will go to day 365 without an away win.
Well, there's still two worse teams in the Football League than us, so we're not that bad. Lies. Dylan, one word. Are we going to win an away game this season if John Whitney stays as manager?
Yes.
Okay, you've said yes. I might as well carry on. Can you tell? Yeah, but you shot me with your answer. So, can you tell me who we're going to beat? Who's the team we're going to beat away from home first?
Gillingham.
Like your style. I know what you're thinking. Right, so one last question is from Danny Price. Question is, and I know Kev's answer, and I only want one word because I need to get home for me. Mum really kicks my ass. I don't live with my mum, by the way, but she's cooking my dinner. Danny Price asked if we could pick any manager at the moment, who would it be and why? So one word answer for your manager and just a quick sentence. I know what Kev's going to say, so we'll go to Kev first. Who's your manager if you could pick one?
Adi Vivash. Like I said a few weeks ago, the way that he worked with the Chelsea youth team, he's just going to bring the best out of the youth team players that we've got at the club. And considering we don't buy players, we need to nurture and bring our own players through, and he's the perfect choice.
Alright, James, if you could pick any manager, who would you pick and why? Make it realistic.
Vivash. It is a realistic one. He's a little bit of a legend at the club, and he will want to come in. He'll work wonders with the youth system, which, according to our philosophy that we apparently have, that's what we need.
Alright, fantastic. And Dylan, please don't say Vivash. If you could pick a manager and it was realistic, who would you pick and why?
Realistically, I'll say Steve Cottrell. We spoke about him on the first episode. I don't know whether he's still at Birmingham or not, but he's a success in League One. He won the Johnson's Paint Trophy with Bristol. He went up with Bristol. So I mean, he's a manager. He's not a backup. He's not second best. And if he is assistant at Birmingham, I mean, he's getting experience under Harry Redknapp, and he might be preparing for the future. But he's a manager.
Do you know what? I would love it if we could go and rob Shrewsbury and take Paul Hurst. That shows you what happens. You get a decent manager, shit football team, budget-wise. But yeah, look at them flying high top of the table. 11 points ahead of us already. So looks like it's Arsenal and Tottenham of League One. Walsall, Shrewsbury are finally going to topple us, I think. But yeah, Paul Hurst. But yeah, that's it for this week. So we're cold, we're wet. It's like we're back in Rotherham. But we'll be back next week, and look out for the new challenges. So thank you for watching.